time here. Packard Proton brings up one of our stories this morning. We lost Rip Drew Struzan, poster master, and of course MTV. Well, the MTV thing we'll talk about in just a second, but let's start off with Drew Struzan. If you don't know the name, you definitely know the man's work. He's probably, arguably, the most iconic poster artist in the history of film. I mean, this man is responsible for most of the posters that you grew up with, other than Paul, because he grew up in the 1920s. But
and the other group of posters that you grew up with that weren't Drew Struzan was Renato Casaro, who we also lost a couple of weeks back.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 3 or 4 main guys, but Drew was kind of like the guy that the big leagues went to, like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Robert Zemeckis and stuff like that.
It was those guys. It was the circle around Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and that is what gave him like those really, really big tickets, because he was their go-to guy. And you can tell just from the beautiful artwork that we have right here. And what we have here, I believe, to the right there is the re-release poster of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes, he did all the re-release Star Wars stuff, to be clear, and the prequels.
Yeah. I do prefer the original, but even that is a work of art and leagues and bounds ahead of anything that is coming out poster-wise today.
Yeah, but his most iconic one would probably have to be Back to the Future. I mean, that's
probably, yeah.
I mean, just that image alone.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the prequel posters for Star Wars.
Those are really good too, yeah.
I have one negative thing to say as a poster artist from a long time ago, is that Hollywood has this weird habit of glomming onto one talent, and then and if you're an aspiring artist, director, or whatever, then you just don't even get access. You don't even get a shot. Maybe it's less of a problem now per se, but it was a real problem in the art community where you just couldn't break in because, I mean, like the person who held the position of being the preeminent go-to person certainly didn't mind, but I remember there was a time when almost every single TV pilot had to be polished by one person. I won't say who that person is. And there was a few years where every single TV pilot was directed by the same multicam director. And it's a funny thing. Hollywood will glom on to one person and then wring them to death. So it's a two-sided thing.
I get what you're saying, Paul, but I would almost say it's probably worse now, because I would say we had an embarrassment of riches back in Drew's day, as far as, because like even Andre mentioned at least one other, but there was other poster artists back then. Now I would say it's pretty much I don't even know if there is.
They're not making anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't even know if there is any poster artists anymore besides some intern in the marketing department who just paint shops everybody's head in a fucking
That's
triangle.
what it is right now.
Like,
yeah, and part of that is because of the studio's fault, that they basically dictate, okay, that my client, his name needs to be this big in this part of the poster, and his head needs to be this big. So basically, this kind of like a dictated contract wise that it has to be like a floating head poster. And then you basically have all this list of legal requirements. You give this to a marketing intern who masters Photoshop. It's like, okay, fine, here's what you have to work with, because this is legally decided, because the clients demanded it. There's no room for an artist like this. And that's kind of like a shame, because that's a big part of this, that these guys, they were doing the kind of movie posters that were at the time, and Struzan and Renato Casaro, they were the biggest, most famous of the bunch, but they weren't the only ones. There were others that did posters like this as well. I mean, Frank Frazetta, he did his fair share of posters.
A lot of comic book artists did,
Luis Royo did his share of posters, and these are like names which are known primarily to fantasy audiences, because they do like this amazing these fantasy posters that used to be covers for books, and later their own separate portfolios for calendars and stuff like that. And And recent decades, pretty much nothing, because the market has dried up, and part of that is because of the contracts that.
And you've got AI.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying at the time, because I've known artists, it was very difficult to break in to do any of the top movies.
Yeah, for sure.
But sadly,
it was really, really hard. It was kind of sad, and I mean, again, the history of movie art is fantastic, going back to the Samuel Zarkov horror, monster movie days, right? Creature from the Black Lagoon and stuff like that. Those posters were of a style. I would like to see a revival of those kinds of posters.
Oh, I agree.
Me too. Me too.
Like,
I mean, they're proper
era,
art.
Yeah, this is the strangest era. This is the first time, for the last 20 years or so, where we haven't had actual poster art. Very rarely have we come across it. I mean, very rarely, where anything was ever painted, not done in some kind of, computer paint shop pro. But Andre hit the nail on the head. What the problem is here. These posters have now become the writers for most of these actors, unfortunately. Like, it's more so my actor has to have the biggest head on the poster. Their name has to be on top. And then, the B and C and D actors also, try to get their spots on the poster. And you'd be surprised sometimes how much wheeling and dealing goes on with this crap.
Oh, no.
And then when you make the Chinese version, it has to change for certain things.
Yes.
Especially if you're John Boyega, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think you're doing a pretty good job with the triptychs in the theaters, those giant displays. But I remember the album era. I mean, we were all old enough for album era. I would literally buy an album based on the cover art.
Well, we didn't even bring that up. A lot of these same guys worked on album art too.
Yes.
In fact, Drew himself.
Again, Frank Frazetta, for instance.
And Frank Frazetta too. Like, Drew did some stuff for Alice Cooper and some other folks. Like, And
so, but because there were way more albums coming out than movies, we had a plethora of artists there. The Yes, can't remember who the Yes album cover artist, which could always recognize a Yes album. And that's one of the things that's sad too, is that you can't even recognize who the creator behind a specific movie just based on the poster, because they have a specific poster look that they carry over from one project to another. This is, to me, what I go back to. I just don't think the movie industry knows how to have fun.
Yeah.
No,
I just want to add in one thing, though, that actually you do have some artists who work on posters today as well. Problem is that those are special consignment alternate posters that are used for special releases and stuff like that only. They're never the official posters. So, like, for instance, both Superman, Fantastic Four received like these Mondo posters, retro posters made with the proper art style, but they are those are the exception, and they're by special consignment. They're not the key art. Like, for instance, I found one here behind the scenes, which would be an example of those, with a poster that's made by. See here.
Just
takes time when
going
it's me.
Back to
here we go.
Specific looks while you're finding it is that one of the only things I enjoyed about Fantastic Four was that it had a look.
Yeah,
I love the art style that they had for Fantastic Four.
Yeah, here's one for Superman.
Just
give me a second, and I'll find the.
Well, the corn sweat looks a little weird there, but
he does.
Yeah, his body shape is just weird.
Totally weird.
I mean, otherwise I like the art, but
yeah,
there's just something off about it.
It looks like just have to put a cigarette between his fingers and go, "Hey, I smoke Chesterfields." It has got that kind of
exactly.
Superman chooses Chesterfield.
That's right.
Yeah. Here we have the same artist doing the Fantastic Four retro style.
See, that is a much better poster than the other one, even though Pedro looks dumb as hell in that poster. I'm sorry.
You need a mustache.
They gave him extra graying on the side of his head.
Yeah. Tried to make it more comic book accurate, I guess.
Drew will be missed. That is a sad day for Hollywood and artists. in general.
Yeah, and hey, listen, by my complaint did not mean I was not intimating that he didn't deserve the work that he got. Just
No, I understood. I think most
those
people
of you in the hate mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was saying
Yeah.
is like, yeah, there was
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
more.
yeah,
at
no,
that
like
time,
the-
but yeah.
Direct all hate mail.
Exactly.
Chato,
The issue
care of
isn't
Canada.
like he wasn't the one. He wasn't the one that hogged all the jobs for himself. It was the people in Hollywood, the producers that have no imagination.
Correct.
So they were the ones that didn't hire anyone else.
Because they have no imagination, as you said. Yeah, they long.
Exactly.
They
They said,
glom
"Hey,
onto-
this is cool."
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There, you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey, and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe, and join us.